The first thing I'm going to display in this assessment is the wireframes. As you can see, I'm scrolling through the different wireframes for the different applications, demonstrating my pre-development thoughts before the actual development of the apps. First, I'm going to show the buttons interaction app. As you can see on the left-hand side of the screen is the code. Different codes behind the application, the front end and the back end. Different parts of the code and its positioning. I'm going to discuss its functions, challenges, and the code behind it. The application was built using buttons that each link to the on-click listener. The listener waits for the user to tap the button, and once it's detected the interaction, it will trigger a response. For this application, this would be a toast message, which would be small pop-ups that briefly appear at the bottom of the screen, giving the user instant feedback or the confirmation of the button. The main function is to provide a simple and interactive experience where user can tap different buttons and immediately see what the input is received. It should be real-time feedback, which is important to keeping the app easy to use. The challenge I faced was the arrangement of the toast message, as I struggled to stray away from the overlapping and putting it into awkward positions, as you can see in the application. Struggled to change its placement and its layout across the different devices. This application here shows the countries and cities app. This application is used to let users interact with the list of cities using buttons, the radio buttons, as well as the spinner. In this code, the use of on-click listeners is used as well to handle the button clicks. The app also includes radio buttons, which allows the users to select one option from each group, for example, choosing a category or preference related to the cities. I handle the radio button selection using radio group listener, which checks which group is selected and responds accordingly. The app features a spinner, which is a drop-down menu that lets users pick from a list of items, which an item will be selected, and capture the selection and display a toast message to confirm it. The goal of this app was to create an intuitive, interactive experience where users can explore options easily and assure interaction is met with clear real-time feedback. As you can see, the codes on the left and the right. The app is moving smoothly, functioning well, using all the requirements set in the criteria. The next application shown here is, as you can see, is the code for the calculator app. This is an app I developed which was designed to handle a chain of arithmetic operations, including addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. In terms of the code, the app uses a single edit text field where the user can input numbers as well as natural numbers or fractional numbers. I implemented this logic to allow the user to enter a decimal point once per number. So if the user taps something like 25.5, it is accepted, but the app prevents them from entering multiple dots like 25.5.5.5. The way this was done by checking if the current input string already contains a dot before allowing another one. For the arithmetic operations, each time a user enters a number and then presses an operator button like plus, minus, multiply, divide, the calculator will store that number as selected operation. When the next number is entered, the calculator performs the stored operation between the previous number and the new one. This will create a chain of operations where each result becomes the starting point for the next calculation. For example, if the user inputs 5, presses plus, then inputs 3 and presses multiply, calculator first computes 5 divided by 3 and then the result will be 8. This will multiply by the next number for the user enters. General behavior was implemented carefully in this code to using variables to track the current result. Select operator and the new input. As you can see, as it's playing now, the calculator is moving smoothly as I'm pressing the different buttons to calculate different operations and its answers. See all the buttons on the right and the left, as they're run correctly. The goal of this app was not just to perform individual calculations, but also to ensure continuous and smooth operations. This helps me with strengthening my understanding of input validation. This next application shown here, this is the code for the login application. This is a login screen without connecting to any backend or database. As you can see in this code, this used customized edit text with float enables. This will be one for the username and also one for the password. Both of these fields include the validation logic, which didn't accept fewer than 4 characters. And if the user enters less, an error would appear on the float enable. Once 4 or more characters are entered, the error will be cleared automatically. The logic checks the entered credentials to make sure the username password is correct in order to successfully log in. As you can see now, there's attempts left to show if there's any failed attempts, and this will close automatically. Whether if the right login details are put in, it will log in and it will show a successful login and take you to the welcome page. Turn interface was implementation of the attempt, and make sure the error message was done cleared as the user corrected the input. This helped me strengthen my understanding of input validation as well as activity navigation. Is the catalogs app. You see, this is the backend code for the animal data bit. I'm scroll through. This is the main activity. And this is the application working. As you can see, it has the image asset and the text, and the 2 buttons, they're working with the text as well.